Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gaurvani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshatarane Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Welcome everyone. Hare Krishna. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. So we continue our reading of the seventh canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 1, entitled The Supreme Lord is Equal to Everyone. We finished up to text 12 last time. So we will chant Mangalacharana prayers for Srimad Bhagavatam and then begin. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narotamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudiraye nashtaprayeshu bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki कृष्णे स्वधामोपगते धर्मज्ञानादिभिः सह कलौ नष्टदृशामेष पुराणार्कादुनोदितः शृण्वतां स्वकथा कृष्ण पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तन हृद्यन्तस्तो य भद्राणि विधुनोति सुहृत्सताम्. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 1, Text 13. Atraivodharitah purvam itihasah surarshina pritya mahakritau rajan pritchate jata shatrave. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Formerly, O king, when Maharaj Yudhishthir was performing the Rajasuya sacrifice, the great sage Narada, responding to his inquiry, recited historical facts showing how the Supreme Personality of Godhead is always impartial, even when killing demons. In this regard, he gave a vivid example. Srila Prabhupada's purport. This relates to how the Lord exhibited his impartiality even when killing Shishupal in the arena of the Rajasuya Yajna performed by Maharaj Yudhishthir. So Shukdev Goswami is continuing answering the question of Maharaj Parikshit of how Bhagavan is Samaha, how he is equal to everyone, how he is the ever well-wishing best friend for everyone. And in this context, Atra eva udarita purvam. He is quoting udaharanam. He is quoting an example. Itihasa surarshina. Here the word surarshi or devarshi or maharshi refers to Narada Muni. So Shukdev Goswami is quoting his guru Vyasadev's guru Narada Muni. This teaches us two principles. One, when we are making a spiritual point, when we are having spiritual discussions, it is of utmost importance to quote authority. Srila Prabhupada said that I would like the members of the International Society of Krishna Consciousness movement, especially the preachers, to be like lawyers quoting from the law book. You can see the lawyer is very well versed with which law, which section, under which historical judgment, what was given in whose favor, etc. They have all of that in their, not in their pustak, but in their mastak, in their head. Not out of notes, but they know just out of study. So Srila Prabhupada many times while having transcendental fake debates and arguments with his own disciples during the morning walks would say, okay, what verse from the Bhagavad Gita would you quote in this regard? And many times Prabhupada would become a devotee and he would have his followers take the role of a non-devotee or an atheist or a Mayavadi, a Brahmavadi, ityadi. And Prabhupada would very easily defeat them because, of course, they didn't know the arguments on the other side. So then they would tell Srila Prabhupada that, Prabhupada, we know all the arguments on this side of how it's easier to be speaking from the side of a devotee. So we don't know the arguments on this side. So Prabhupada said, okay, now we will turn tables around and you become a devotee and I will act as if I'm a non-devotee and we'll have the same debate again. So they said, okay, that's easy because we just heard all the different arguments that you post. So we can use all of them. And then Prabhupada would go on this side and they would pose as devotees which they were in the argument sense, and take the same debate around, and Prabhupada would again defeat them from the non-devotee perspective. And then Srila Prabhupada would say that it's not your opinion or my opinion, it is Krishna's opinion that matters. And therefore, I want the preachers and my disciples, when they talk, they should be able to reference, verify, and quote Shastra as authority. Even in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says this. He says, Anudvega karam vakyam satyam priyam hitam chayat swadhyaya bhyasanam chaiva vangmaya tapa uchyate. Krishna mentions that speech should have 5 characteristics. Anudvega karam vakyam. Udveg, agitate. Anudveg, no agitation. One should speak in a way that the other person who's listening is not agitated. So, anudvega karam vakyam. Sometimes people say, उनको बुरा लगे तो उनकी गलती, पर हम तो सत्य कहेंगे. Yes, you're supposed to speak the truth, but satyam bruyat, priyam bruyat. Speak the truth in a palatable way, not in an agitating way. The purpose of a preacher is not to agitate the audience. Well, of course, the purpose of the preacher or the speaker of Hari Katha is to enlighten the audience. It is to bring them tamosoma jyotirgamaya. It is to bring them to light. But it is not necessary to poke the audience. So, for example, if the speaker is sitting on the Vyasasan and he's speaking to an audience of people who are all first time coming to the temple. So, if he starts speaking, all of you karmis, you are wasting your time. Human life is given and you all are living like cats and dogs, two-legged animals. So, all of this is true. But certainly it's agitating for the false ego. We are all, as two-legged animals, we are wasting our time. That is certainly true. If you see Srila Prabhupada, he would speak very strongly, but he would also, it's not that he was only heavy, he would also quote a shlok. Sometimes the other day I was worshipping my deities and hearing Prabhupada's class, and Prabhupada was also cutting jokes. And the audience were chuckling. I've never heard that, because he would say the joke and the audience were laughing for at least, I would say, 10 seconds, 12 seconds. And that was quite interesting for me to hear. Prabhupada quotes so many stories. He quotes so many verses. And many times he will say stories even from his life. And he quotes some jokes also. And he enlightens as well. So it's a complete package that a preacher is supposed to do. So Krishna says, Anudvega karam vakyam, speak in a non-agitating way. But that doesn't mean you speak untruth, just to please the audience, right? So Anudvega karam vakyam satyam, speak the truth. Priyam, speak it sweetly. Most importantly, fourth, hitam, it must be spoken for the benefit of the listener. One should not speak Krishna Katha to show the audience how much he or she knows. Yasyanubhavam akhila shruti saramekam adhyatma deepam atiti titrisham tamondham samsarinam karunayaha purana guhyam. It is described, Shukdev Goswami spoke karunaya, out of compassion. My Guru Maharaj once told me that those who are studying Bhagavatam, not all of them are speaking and preaching. And those who are preaching, not all of them are studying. And then he said, those who are studying and preaching, not all of them are speaking with genuine compassion. So he said to me, 3 things are very important: study of Bhagavatam, sharing of Bhagavatam, and the intention to do good to others. Starting with doing good to oneself. You see, the hand which shares the rose smells fragrant. So if you share the rose with someone, your palms are fragrant. Charity begins at home. So that Swantaha Sukhaya Tulasi Raghunatha Gatha. Acharyas have written Shastra for others, para upakar, but also for, in a humble mood, with the teaching all the sadhakas that this is to purify the self. So speak in a way that it doesn't agitate the other person. Speak the truth. Speak sweetly. Speak with compassion, hitam, for the other person. And most importantly, here again, in the context of our discussion, swadhyaya bhyasanam jaiva. Repeat Vedic wisdom. Repeat Vedic verses. Know the context, know the examples, know the stories, so that while speaking, you can bolster, you can support your point with Vedic examples. And this is what is happening here. Atra eva udarita purvam itihasa surarshina. Shukdev Goswami is quoting Narada Muni's example that, "Oh Maharaj Parikshit, you are asking me about how Bhagavan is equal to everyone and how we can say he's partial or impartial, etc." The same thing happened, the same discussion took place between Maharaj Yudhishthir and Narada Muni. So in case if someone's asking us a question and we have heard that question being answered by our spiritual master, by Srila Prabhupada, then it's important to share that with the name. Sometimes what we do in the present culture is we just copy paste, which is okay. Srila Prabhupada said that we have to hear two lines and speak two lines. So it is good to be a parrot, no problem. But we must all understand we are all Uchishta Bhoji. All of us are Uchishta Bhoji. Uchishta Bhoji means we are all living off the remnants from the plate of another Vaishnava. All of us, right? We are all reading Prabhupada's books. We are all hearing followers of Srila Prabhupada or Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Bhakti Vinod Thakur. You may sing a song of Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur and we may give a whole class on that song. So we are actually taking remnants from the prasadam plate of Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur's realizations. Right? So we are all Uchishta Bhoji. None of us can claim that these are my notes, this is my class. If somebody is repeating, let's say we put in effort and somebody is repeating our class, and if the false ego is agitated, that means our intention is not pure. Sometimes we may think, oh, we are taking 6 hours to prepare one class. This person is listening in 2x speed and repeating the same class. No problem. At least they're, instead of listening and speaking other topics, they're listening and speaking Krishna Katha. So it's wonderful. So, atraiva udarita purvam itihasa surarshina pritya mahakrato rajan. Mahakrato refers to that great sacrifice, which is Rajasuya Yajna. Rajasuya Yajna could be performed only by that king who has won over all directions. Just like they say, Devo mein Dev Mahadev. राजाओं में जो राजा है वो महाराज. Only such a Maharaj can perform Mahakratu. He can perform the Rajasuya Yajna. So Yudhishthir Maharaj was the king of all kings on the planet. Therefore, he could perform the Rajasuya Yajna. But the question is, did he perform Rajasuya Yajna to prove that I am the king among kings? The answer is no. He is such a pure-hearted devotee. Sarathya Parashada Sevana Sakhya Dautya Veerasananu Stavana Pranaman Snigdeshu Pandushu Jagat Pranatischa Vishnu Bhaktim Kurutin Nripatis Charanaravinde. I'll show you this verse. Very beautiful verse from the Bhagavatam. This comes in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 16, Text 16. Yeah, look at this. Very beautiful verse. Sarathya Parashada Sevana Sakhya Dautya Veerasananu Stavana Pranaman. Krishna did all these services to the Pandavas. He was the chariot driver, Sarathi, to Arjun, right? Partha Sarathi. And Parashada, he was the Parishad or the Parikar. Shad means to sit and Pari means around. So he was the Parishad or Parshad, which means he would sit around the Pandavas. And Sevana, he would, and this we are saying both ways. The Pandavas wanted to always serve, always sit around, always serve and be friends with Krishna. But actually, Krishna did all this to them too. He became the chariot driver. He sat around them. He served them. He was their friend. Sakha iti matva prasabham yaduktam. Right? And Dautya means Dut. Krishna also became the Shanti Dut. He became the peace messenger for the Pandavas. And Veerasana. Veerasana means, Veera means to protect, and Asana means taking that situation. So he became the Chokidar. Krishna became the night watchman for the Pandavas. Pandavas were resting in the tent and Krishna standing outside with a sword at night to protect them from any possible attack. And Anugamana, Krishna walked behind the Pandavas many times. And Stavana, as the Pandavas praised Krishna, Krishna also praised. And Pranama, as the Pandavas offered obeisances, Krishna also offered obeisances to Yudhishthira Maharaj. Why did he do this? Snigdeshu Pandushu, because Krishna has so much love for the Pandavas. Jagat Pranatim Ja Vishnu. The world is offering pranam to Vishnu or Krishna, but he is busy offering pranam to the Pandavas. Bharat Sarisako Ram Sanehi, Jag Jap Ram Ram Jap Jai. Goswami Tulsidas ji has said, how dear is Bharat to Sri Ram? How dear is Bharat to Sri Ram? Goswami Tulsidas ji has said that भरत सरिस को राम से नहीं, भरत राम के इतने प्रिय हैं कि जग जप राम राम जप जय. जग तो राम को जपता है और राम इनको भजते हैं, भरत को जपते हैं. So similarly, here the whole world is worshipping Vishnu, Jagat Pranati. And that Vishnu or Sri Hari is busy serving and offering obeisances to the Pandavas headed by Yudhishthir Maharaj. Bhaktim kurut indrapatish charana aravinde. So we can see Prabhupada's beautiful translation. Maharaj Parikshit heard that out of causeless mercy, Lord Krishna or Vishnu, who is universally obeyed, Jagat Pranati, rendered all kinds of service to the malleable sons of Pandu by accepting posts ranging from chariot driver to president to messenger, friend, night watchman, etc., according to the will of the Pandavas, obeying them like a servant and offering obeisances like one younger in age. When he heard this, Maharaj Parikshit became overwhelmed with devotion to the lotus feet of the Lord. So why I'm mentioning this is Mahakratav, Yudhishthir Maharaj was so great. He performed this Rajasuya Yajna only to proclaim the glories of Krishna. Generally, Rajasuya Yajna was performed by the kings to show that, look, I am the great Lord. I have conquered all directions. And therefore, because I am the king among kings, I can perform Rajasuya Yajna. But Yudhishthir Maharaj's intention was, if I perform Rajasuya Yajna and invite Sri Hari, Sri Krishna, we are not able to go to Dwaraka and serve him. But if he comes here, then we will all get chance to serve him. And at the same time, in the Rajasuya Yajna, there is a concept or a context called as the Agra Puja. Agra Puja means that personality who's most worshipable is offered the first puja. So in that puja, if I can offer puja or Agra Seva to Krishna, then the whole world will know that in the best yajna possible, Rajasuya Yajna, the king among kings, Maharaj Yudhishthir, served the Lord among lords, Sri Krishna. So everybody will become a devotee. This was the performance. This was the main reason. This is why in this context of the 10th canto Srimad Bhagavatam, where Yudhishthir Maharaj is performing Rajasuya Yajna, Shukadev Goswami calls him Haridas. This term is not given to any other Vaishnava. You will not see the word Haridas given anywhere. But Yudhishthir Maharaj was given the term Haridasa. Haridasa Sarajarshe. O Parikshit, Yudhishthir Maharaj was the best devotee. He was Haridas. He was the servant of Hari because he performed this Rajasuya Yajna. But then there is another context where Shukdev Goswami uses the word Haridas, and that is for Uddhava. Because, of course, here Yudhishthir Maharaj, he called Krishna and he served and proclaimed the glories of Krishna. He proclaimed the glories of Krishna. So he is Haridas. But Uddhava is a bigger Haridas. Why? Because he proclaimed the glories of the Brajvasis. By going to Vrindavan, Vande Nanda Brajastrinam Padareno Rabhikshashaha Yasam Hari Kathodgitam Punati Bhuvanatrayam Asamaho Charanarenu Jushamaham Syam Vrindavane Kimapi Gulmala Taushadhinam Ityadi. By chanting all these verses, Uddhava proved that the Brajbasis, especially the Brajagopis, are the best devotees. So therefore, he is a bigger Haridas than Yudhishthir Maharaj. And among all these Haridas, Hantaya Madri Ravala, Haridasa Varya, the best among Haridas is Sri Giriraj Govardhan. He's so great. Yudhishthir Maharaj is very exalted and Krishna would go and offer him pranam. Yudhishthira Maharaj would offer pranam, Krishna would also offer pranam in Dasyarati. But then to Uddhava, Uddhava would open his arms and Krishna would also open his arms and they would embrace as Sakyarati. But Sri Giriraj was so great. He was not at the feet of Krishna. He was not on the chest of Krishna. He was on top of Krishna. Krishna held him so high above his head to say that everyone is Das. They're all serving. But these three personalities are Haridas. And in them, Sri Giriraj Maharaj, Sri Giriraj Govardhan is Haridasa warrior. So Atrevodaritah Purvam Itihasa Surarshina Pritya Mahakritau Rajan. Mahakritau. In this great sacrifice, Prichate, he asked. He was asking. And Ajata Shatrava. This Ajata Shatru term has been used as an adjective to Yudhishthir Maharaj. Ajata Shatru. What does Ajata Shatru mean? Ajata Shatru. Shatru means enemy. Jata means born. And Ajata means no enemy is born, which means there may be enemies. There may be people who considered Yudhishthir Maharaj as their enemy, but Yudhishthir Maharaj never considered anybody to be his enemy. Ajata Shatru. Titikshava Karunika Surida Sarvadehinam Ajata Shatrava Shanta Sadhava Sadhapushan. In the third canto Bhagavatam Kapila Muni and Devahuti Samvad, it explains to all the readers of the Bhagavatam that the student of the Bhagavatam, the worshipper of Sri Krishna, should be Ajata Shatru. Even if people outside criticize, even if people outside consider us to be their enemy, Tiraskrita Vipralabdha Shapta Shipta Hata Api Nasya Tat Pratikurvanti Tad Bhakta Prabhavopihi. Bhagavatam describes we should not react, we should not retaliate, we should be Ajata Shatru. So in this context, when that great Yudhishthir Maharaj is asking Narada Muni the important question that Shishupal hated Krishna. Shishupal was criticizing Krishna continuously. But you see in that Rajasuya Yajna, he continued to criticize. Because the context is in the Rajasuya Yajna, Sahadev gave a wonderful speech. It's probably one of the most famous speeches of Sahadev in the Pancha Pandav. Generally, you see Yudhishthir Maharaj, Bhim, and Arjun get a lot of spotlight in the pages of the Mahabharata. But Nakul and Sahadev, they're servant of the servant of the servant. They're taking the position, the back seat. But Sahadev gave a fantastic speech at the Rajasuya Yajna as to how Krishna is the proper recipient to receive the mercy. In the sense, give mercy to everyone, receive the glory of the Agra Puja, Agra Seva. So when Sahadev spoke like this, everyone clapped except one person, and that was Shishupal. So Shishupal, anyway, right from his childhood, he hated Krishna. He continued to, the word used in the Bhagavatam is shap. Shap means curse. Shapana means to speak bad words. Kalabhashana, right from his childhood, he criticized Krishna. And Shishupal anyway had a big problem with Krishna. And that was with respect to the marriage of Rukmini Devi. Right. Rukmini Devi was very beautiful. Bhagavatam describes when the friends of Rukmini, the residents of the city, of the kingdom, Vidarbha, Vaidharbi, she was called Vaidharbi because she was from Vidarbha in Maharashtra. She was the daughter of King Bhishmaka. So whenever anybody saw Rukmini Devi, people would say, she is the right recipient, the right qualified person to be the queen of Krishna. And whenever they would hear the qualification and the glories and the power and the valor of Krishna, they would say, Krishna alone is qualified to be the husband of Rukmini. So by hearing about each other's qualities, they would think, Rukmini Devi matches Krishna in all qualification. Rukmini Devi personally, Shrutva Gunan Bhuvana Sundara Shunvatam Te Nirishya Karana Vivarai Haratonga Tapam Rupam Drisham Drishimatam Akhilarthalabham Tvayachyuta Vishati Chittam Apatrapam Me. In her prayer, Rukmini Devi says, Shrutva, just by hearing your glories of Krishna from visiting sages, sadhus like Narada Muni, I have given my heart to you. Apatrapam me. I am shameless to write this love letter, Rukmini says. And I am begging you, please accept my hand. Generally, you'll see the Kshatriya kings would come and the girl has a chance to choose, like Swayamvar. But here the girl is begging, you please accept my hand. And she writes a very beautiful letter. So Maharaj Bhishmaka was okay with this in Rukmini wanting to marry Krishna. And out of her brothers, everyone was okay with this proposal except one. His name was Rukmi. They all had the name Rukma. One was Rukmini, one was Rukmi. So, anyway, that's a different topic. But the point is, Rukmi had a big problem as the brother of, he was the oldest among the brothers of Rukmini. And he wanted Rukmini to get married to his best friend. Now, Rukmi had nice friends, very good company. Jarasandha, Kalyavan, Dantavakra, Shishupal, Kamsa, they were all hand in glove in many ways. So Rukmi wanted Rukmini, his sister, to get married to Shishupal. So this was his desire, and because he was the oldest son, he was able to convince his father, old father, Bhishmaka, who had to agree to the wants of his older son. Just like we find in the Sakshi Gopal story in Chaitanya Charitamrita. The father was ready to offer his youngest daughter in marriage to the younger Brahmana. But then after the father, the older Brahmana came home and announced that this is what happened in the yatra. Everybody was okay except the oldest son. He said, how can you do this without asking me, without taking counsel from other members in the family? How did you give your word? So this is not possible, he said. So perhaps he was probably like an incarnation of the pravriti of Rukmi. Same Leela again. So Rukmini Devi, she had to bow to this instruction of her brother, and all the plans were made. And then one night before, she wrote the letter to Krishna. And it was given to a Brahmana, and the Brahmana offered it to Krishna. And Krishna had so much faith in this Brahmana, he said, no, you read the letter. He didn't tell the Brahmana, okay, give me the letter. It's a personal letter. You don't peek into it. Let me see what my fan has written or what a devotee has written. Krishna didn't think like that because this Brahmana represents Guru. Rukmini Devi is like, in the story, symbolically, she represents a conditioned soul like us. Shishupal represents Maya. So living entities like us, we have two options. We can either pick Shishupal or we can pick Krishna. We can either pick Maya or we can pick Krishna. Moment to moment, we have an option either to marry our mind off to a temptation or a distraction called Shishupal, or marry our mind off to Krishna. And we should offer prayers, just like Rukmini wrote letters, we should offer prayers to Krishna. Please, Krishna, kidnap my mind. In the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, the word Hare from Rihara Dhatu, which means to steal, as Hara or Hari ityadi. Lord Shiva is also called Hara. All comes from Ru Dhatu, which means to steal. So we should pray to Krishna when you say Hare 8 times in every Mahamantra, that Krishna, you please steal my heart. Please steal my mind away from this world. Janayityasu vairagyam jnanam yacha ahaitukam. Let there be ashu vairagyam, very quick detachment from this world. May you steal my heart. May you steal my mind away, O Krishna, O Gopal. Please steal my heart away. We should pray like that. Our acharyas in the interpretation, they have given that meaning. So like Rukmini Devi, we should offer prayers to Krishna, but we should always offer it through Guru. Like how Rukmini offered her letter to a Brahmana, we should offer it through Guru. We should pray to our Guru. We should pray to our Guru Maharaj. We should pray to Srila Prabhupada and offer our prayers to Krishna through them in the Guru Parampara system. Then Krishna trusts the Brahmana so much that, oh, if it comes from this Brahmana, this letter must be potent. So like that, if through the Guru Parampara system, our prayer is going up through the Guru, then Krishna will take it seriously. Even if we are not able to, like Rukmini, go and find Krishna, Krishna will sit on the chariot with his daruka and come in full speed to deliver the living entity. And this is a fact. You can see this in all Leelas. Gajendra did not go. The Lord came. Right? Draupadi did not go. The Lord came. Jatayu did not go. Sri Ramachandra came. Right? You can find this all the time happening. In this case also, you can see Rukmini did not go. Krishna came. In Ramayana, you can see Sita stuck in Lanka. She did not go. Ram came building a bridge. So all of these stories give us so much solace that if we are not able to find Krishna, no problem. Sthane sthita shruti gatan tanuvak manobhi. In whatever situation we are, we should sit there and call out to Krishna. And then Krishna came and he kidnapped Rukmini. So Shishupal had a big problem with Krishna because he liked Rukmini and he wanted to marry Rukmini, and all the arrangements were made. Shishupal was also well dressed. Rukmini was well dressed. And in the last moment, just few moments before the offering of the garland, Rukmini Devi went into the Ambika temple of Parvati Devi. And when she stepped out, she had guards on both sides. And in that 1 second before she gets onto the chariot to get married to Shishupal, Krishna very quickly held her by the hand and pulled her into his chariot. And as soon as he got her into the chariot, the first thing Krishna said, "Don't worry, your army is ready to fight." In complete acceptance that it is not that my army, it is your army because I have accepted your hand in marriage. And then Krishna fights and wonderful, and Rukmini gets married to Dwarkadish, Sri Krishna. So therefore, when we put this Kantimala and when we put this Tilak, this is our Sindur and this is our Mangal Sutra. In the sense that as Rukmini, we as eternal living beings, we are Prakriti. Krishna is Purusha. Not that we should, like many times on social media or on the present culture, people walk around with a deity in their hand and they say, okay, I have married Krishna, I am a gopi. Not like this. Antare nishtha karo bahir loka vyavahar, achiraye Krishna tumai karibe uddhar. Externally, we should be normal, but internally increase the attachment to Krishna. No show. Nowadays, on social media, it's a big thing. Everybody is busy showing how much they love Krishna. But Rukmini did not do that. She wrote a letter hidden and offered it, and nobody knew about it. She didn't take selfies with her own letter. First letter to Krishna. She didn't do anything like that. Right? So our devotion should be like a pressure cooker. Pressure should build inside, but nobody knows what the cooking is going on. It should not be like an open pot where cooking time is long time to cook rice on an open pot and everyone is able to see the rice. Not like that. It should be like a pressure cooker. Perform your sadhana externally, be normal, but internally increase attachment to Krishna by reading, hearing, and chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So because Shishupal had a big problem with Krishna, he continued to criticize Krishna. He didn't like Krishna at all. He was so envious of Krishna. And now in the Rajasuya Yajna, when Sahadev gave his victory speech that Krishna must be given the Agra Puja, Shishupal could not tolerate. Krishna gets Rukmini, Krishna gets Puja. What am I getting? Just sitting and clapping hands. He said, this is too much. So he continued to criticize Krishna. He continued to criticize Krishna so much in that Rajasuya Yajna that the Sudarshan Chakra came and laser surgery was performed. Bloodless. No blood fell there. Because even if one drop of blood falls, then the whole place becomes impure. And that Rajasuya Yajna has to be performed there. So that's going to be inconvenience for everyone. So Krishna performed laser surgery. The Sudarshan Chakra came and cut the head of Shishupal. And that soul, Shishupal, entered the lotus feet of Krishna, just like we saw in Aghasur Leela. The soul of Aghasur, which means Aghasur himself, he entered the lotus feet of Krishna and he got Sayujya Mukti. He merged. ब्रह्म में लीन हो गए जैसे हम कहते हैं वैसे कृष्ण में लीन हो गए अघासुर जी और यहाँ भी शिशुपाल महाशय he entered the lotus feet of Krishna. And when all of them saw this, this was a great astonishment. And that is what Yudhishthir Maharaj is asking Narada Muni. Context. How is it that somebody like Shishupal, who hated Krishna, who criticized Krishna, who did not like Krishna, how is it that he attained Krishna? He attained the lotus feet of Krishna. He didn't suffer. He didn't get, and this verse will come ahead, he didn't get any white leprosy on the tongue. He didn't have any paralytic stroke. And no suffering in this life. And next life, instead of going to hell, he went back home, back to Godhead. How is it possible? So this whole explanation that Narad Muni gives to Yudhishthira Maharaj for the question is what Shukdev Goswami is telling Parikshit Maharaj. Because Parikshit Maharaj's question is very similar. Why does Krishna always take sides with devatas against the demon? And here Yudhishthira Maharaj is asking the question, how does the Lord think? Why is he taking side with the Daityas? Why is he taking sides with Shishupal? So this whole thing is to prove that Bhagavan is equal to everyone. There is only one reason why Shishupal attained it, and that is to come. Let's continue reading. दृष्ट्वा महाद्भुतं राजा राजसूये महाकृतौ वासुदेवे भगवती सायुज्यं चेदि भूभुज तत्रासीनं सुरऋषिं राजा पाण्डुसुतक्रतौ पप्रच्छ विस्मितमना मुनीनां शृण्वताम् इदम्. Srila Prabhupada's translation. O king, at the Rajasuya sacrifice, Maharaj Yudhishthir, the son of Maharaj Pandu, personally saw Shishupal merge into the body of Sri Krishna. Therefore, struck with wonder, he inquired about the reason for this from the great sage Narada, who was seated there. While he inquired, all the sages present also heard him ask his question. So Yudhishthir Maharaj is seeing this Drishtva Mahadbhutam. So this Mahadbhutam, which means great astonishment, great wonder, is a Visheshan, is an adjective for Sayujyam. That great merging, Sayujya, युज धातु मीन्स टू यूनाइट. सो जिस जहां से शब्द योग बनता है, युज धातु है संस्कृत में. सो टू 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 कम इन कॉन्टैक्ट, टू यूनाइट. एंड सायुज्य मीन्स दैट मुक्ति where a living entity enters and unites with Bhagavan, becomes one in the Brahma Jyoti. There are 5 types of mukti: Sarshti, Samipya, Salokya, Sarupya, and Ekatvam or Sayujyam. So, Salokya Mukti, which means Salok, to have moksha, to become liberated and have the opportunity to live in the same planet as Bhagavan. Sarshti, Sarshti means to have the fortune of having the opulences of the Lord. Third, Sarupya, to look like the Lord, to look like Mahavishnu. If you see the painting of Ajamil's liberation, you can see 4 Vishnus there because they're Vishnu Dutas. In one of the discussions, my Guru Maharaj was explaining that in one of the ISKCON temples, outside the temple, they had Jai and Vijay, right? Just like Jai and Vijay are the doorkeepers. So one newcomer came into the temple and said, "ये कैसा मंदिर है? विष्णु को अपने ही मंदिर से बाहर खड़ा कर दिया." The newcomer said, "What kind of temple is this? You have kept Vishnu outside his own temple." So then the devotees had to say, "नहीं, ये विष्णु नहीं है. विष्णु के समान इनका रूप है, पर ये जय और विजय है." This is Jai and Vijay, and they look very much like Vishnu, except they don't have the Kaustubha Mani and the Shrivatsa mark on the chest. Pita Kausheya Vasam, Shrivatsankam Kaustubodbhasitangam, Punyopetam Pundari Kayatakram, Vishnu Vande Sarvalokaikanatha. So all these characteristics are for Vishnu. Jai and Vijay also have it, except they don't have a Kaustubha Mani and they don't have a Shrivatsa golden hair on the chest, representing the resting place of Lakshmi Devi. So this is called Sarupya Mukti. So Salokya, having the opportunity to live in the same planet as Bhagavan. Sarshti, have all his opulences. You can fly like him. You can speak like him. You can hold a gada like him. You can have all the ornaments like him, a mukut like him, everything. Third, Sarupya. Even your features will look like Bhagavan. So Salokya, Sarshti, Sarupya. Now Samipya, having the mukti, the great liberation where the person has samipta. Samipya means proximity, the opportunity to live close to Bhagavan. And the fifth is ekatvam. This is also called sayujya mukti, sayuj, to become one, which means to merge into the effulgence coming from the body of Bhagavan. This is not accepted by the devotees because we don't want to become one with Bhagavan, because how can you serve that Lord whom you're one with? So we don't want to become like that. In fact, Salokya Sarshti Samipya Sarupyam Ekatvam Evacha Diyamanam na Grindhanti Vinamat Sevanam Jana. Bhagavatam describes what to speak of Sayujya. Devotees don't want any of these liberations if the opportunity to serve Krishna is taken away. Imagine you look like Krishna, but we can't serve Krishna. We don't want that. On the other hand, we don't want any of this. Sevak means seva. Aham harer tava padaika moolam dasanudaso bhavitasmi bhuya manasmaret asupater gunamte grinhita vakarma karotu kaya. Vritrasura is praying, Bhagwan, Shri Hari, the only thing I want is through my mind, let me remember you. Through my words, let me glorify you. Through my hands, let me serve you. And let me be the servant of a pure devotee in my next birth, in whose association I can hear and chant about Krishna. I don't want anything else. Tulayam lavenapi na swargam na punarbhavam. The greatest gift in life is opportunity to associate with a sadhu, where you can serve Krishna under his guidance. Tishtan vraje tad anuragi jana anugami kalam nayet akhilam ityupadesha saram. Rup Goswami Pad says the opportunity to serve Krishna continuously 24 hours under the guidance of a pure Vaishnava. Therefore, Srila Jayapataka Maharaj in one class was saying, each one teach one by being taught by one. So we all should share Krishna consciousness, but we all should be under Vaishnavas. Each one teach one while being taught by one. So here, Drishtva Mahadbhutam Raja, Rajasuye Mahakratav, in that great sacrifice of Rajasuya Yajna, Raja Yudhishthir Maharaj, Drishtva, he saw. What did he see? Chedi Bhubhujaha. This is the name for our dear Shishupal Maharaj. He was Chedi Raj. So Shishupal ji, Sayujyam, he attained oneness in the lotus feet of Bhagavan. And look how Krishna has been described, Vasudeve Bhagavati. Now here the word Bhagavati is not a feminine word. It doesn't mean, just like we say Bhagavati Lakshmi, Bhagavati Saraswati. Wo Bhagavati nahi hai ye. So when in Sanskrit, from Bhagavat word, from where the word Bhagavan comes, if you have to say the female version of it, then it becomes Bhagavati with a longer E. But this is a shorter E, which means in Bhagavan, male usage. Bhagavan, Bhagavanto, Bhagavantaha, Saptami Ekvachan, Bhagavati, shorter E. So in Bhagavan, which Bhagavan? Vasudev. In Vasudev, who is Vasudev? Son of Vasudev, Krishna. So that Bhagavati there is a Visheshan, is an adjective for Krishna, who is son of Vasudev. Okay? To prove beyond any doubt that he is Bhagavan. He is Krishna Parama Purushe. Krishna as Vasudev is Bhagavan. That has been proven by Yudhishthir Maharaj just by using the word Bhagavati. Shorter E refers to in male usage. In Bhagavan, in Krishna. भगवान के चरणों में जो वासुदेव हैं, वसुदेव के पुत्र, उन्हीं के चरणों में ऐसे कैसे अकस्मात महाअद्भुत कार्य हुआ कि शिशुपाल जैसे दुष्ट दानव जो भगवान से ईर्ष्या करते थे, उन्होंने सायुज्य मुक्ति कैसे प्राप्त की, ये प्रश्न है. And it's not that he himself saw, Yudhishthir Maharaj alone saw, tatrasinam surarshim raja pandusuta krato papracha vismita mana muni nam shunvatamidam. Everybody, tatrasinam, everybody there saw this. Everybody saw this astonishment. And the word used is vismita mana. Yudhishthir Maharaj was astonished because there's a lot of astonishment here. If you criticize Bhagavan, according to Shastra, we go to hell for many lifetimes because we are criticizing the Lord who created us. On the other hand, you worship Krishna for many lifetimes, still to attain him is very difficult. So two contrasts. If you criticize him, going to hell is easy. If you worship him, still to attain him is difficult. And what is astonishing, this personality who criticized and criticized and criticized all his life, instead of suffering in that life and suffering in his next life by going to hell, he escaped all of that suffering and went back home, back to Godhead, which even pure devotees find difficult to attain. So this is astonishment. Second astonishment, I saw it, Yudhishthira Maharaj is saying. And not just that, everybody saw it. That is the second astonishment. Third astonishment, how can Bhagavan kill a person and accept him? If you kill somebody, you cannot do good to that person. Forget about killing and doing good. Keeping somebody alive in this world, still we don't do good to that person. Even by serving them properly, we don't do good service to them. We don't do good to them. But tathaiva chanye naraloka veera ya ahave Krishna mukharavindam netre pibantyo nayanabhirama parthastra puta padamapurasya. Krishna is so great. He can shoot arrows. He can, through Arjun, of course, and he can kill somebody through the Sudarshan Chakra. And hataha gataha swarupam. Bhishma Stuti. Hataha. Krishna can kill someone and gataha swarupam and give them their eternal abode. Therefore, one quality of Krishna is Hatari Gatidayaka. Very beautiful name. Hatari Gatidayaka. Hata means to kill. Ari means enemy. So he kills his enemy, Hatari, and Gatidayaka, and gives them back home, back to God. It gives them liberation. It is like a boss who fires an employee and eternally gives him residence in his house. How amazing is that? If you fire someone, you don't even want to see them in your workplace. But Krishna is so kind. He kills the enemy and brings them back home, back to Godhead. This has been mentioned even in the Mukundamala Stotra. Mukundamala Stotra, King Kulashekara Alvar says that we are Muda Varaka Vayam. We are foolish. Because on one hand, you have boss in this world who is Purushadhama, who's low charactered. And you have boss in that world who's Purushottama, who's best charactered. Then you have boss in this world who will keep us at his service only till the time we continue serving him and bringing results. As soon as results stop, he fires us. And this boss is so amazing. Lifetime after lifetime, we don't serve him. Still, he continues to give us pension. And we may forget what we did for him in our past lives, but he remembers. We fight, I don't want to be with you. He fights, but I want you with me. What a great boss. This Purushadhama, boss of this world, he is leading only one or two departments. This Lord, eternal master, he owns everything. Gramesham alpartadam, sevayai mragayamahe naramaho muda varakavayam. Kulashekara says, still we are so foolish. We give up that eternal master, only begging for boss in this world. Bifale sevinu kripana durjana chapala shukha lavalagire. We serve people in this world only to attain temporary joy. But that master is ready to give us anandambudi vardhanam pratipatam purnamrita swadanam, eternal joy. But we are not ready to do bhajan and remember him by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So with a wonder-struck mind, Yudhishthira Maharaj is asking this question. Text 16. Shri Yudhishthira Uvacha. Aho atyadbhutam yetad durlabhaikantikam api vasudeve pare tatve praptis chaidyasya vidvishaha. Maharaj Yudhishthira inquired. It is very wonderful that the demon Shishupal merged into the body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even though extremely envious. This Sayujya Mukti is impossible to attain even for great transcendentalists. How then did the enemy of the Lord attain it? Look at the words. Aho ati adbhutam hi etad. Etad, this. Aho ati adbhutam hi. He means khalu etad, indeed. And aho means again wonderful. And adbhutam means wonderful. Ati adbhutam means most wonderful. How wonderful, so wonderful, very wonderful, he is saying. And durlabha ekantinam api. Attaining Krishna is rare even for the Ekantika Bhaktas. Ekantino yasya na kanchanartham vanchanti ye vai bhagavat prapanna atyadbhutam tacharitam sumangalam gayanta ananda samudramagna. Gajendra Stuti. Gajendra is saying the Ekantikas, the Ekanti Bhaktas, how are they? Gayanti Ananda Samudramagna. They keep continuously singing in ocean of ecstasy. Still, it may be difficult to attain Krishna. Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan mam prapadyate. It takes so many lifetimes to get Krishna. But Prabhupada said, if you are sincere, serious, and strict, three words Prabhupada uses in the purport. If you are sincere, serious, and strict, sincere, every single day, serious about sadhana, not getting distracted, and strict about your ethical character, moral principles. If these three things are there, then you will get Krishna in one lifetime, Prabhupada said. Another verse you can find in the Bhagavad Gita, Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye. I've just made a list of all these verses if that's going to help. Not this one. Yeah, you can see this verse. 7.3 Bhagavad Gita. Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye. Krishna says among thousands of human beings, hardly one gets perfection. And yatatam api siddhanam kaschin mam veti tattvataha. Out of thousands of such perfected beings, one understands me and comes back to me. So it's very rare to get Krishna. You can see another verse here. Muktanam api siddhanam. This is Srimad Bhagavatam. Muktanam api siddhanam. Among all liberated and perfected beings, one Narayana Parayana. To find one pure devotee who's Prashantatma, who's completely peaceful, Sudurlabha. It is very rare. कोटिषु अपि महामुने, करोड़ों में एक शुद्ध भक्त पाया जाता है, करोड़ों में. तो यदि आसपास दोष दर्शन हो रहा है, हमें यह जानना है कि अधिकांश हम सब यहां फंसे हैं. मुक्तानाम अपि सिद्धानाम या बहुनाम जन्मनाम अन्ते. We are all having problems. It is very rare to find a pure devotee. Kotishu अपि महामुने. Such a pure devotee attains Krishna. As we sang this verse also. Ekantino yasya na kanchanartham. Such a pure devotee doesn't ask Krishna anything. Na kanchana artham vanchanti. Itna bhi Prabhu se mangta nahi. He doesn't ask anything to the Lord. And because he is Bhagavat Prapanna, those pure devotees, they're surrendered to Krishna. Ati adbhutam tacharitam. Sumangalam. All auspicious, astonishing pastimes of Krishna. Gayanta Ananda Samudra Magna. The word is Gayante, and then it becomes Gayanta. So they are constantly singing the glories of Bhagavan. And such personalities go back home, back to Godhead. But how is it that Durlabha Ekanti Namapi, that abode of the Lord, which is rare for even sometimes for pure devotees in one life, Chaidyasya Vidvishaha, how is it that this Chaidiraj, Chaidya, Shishupal, Vidvishaha, who was extremely, Vidvisha doesn't mean Vidwan, Vidvisha means he was extremely envious. बहुत वैर करते थे, भगवान से ईर्षा करते थे. He was extremely envious and jealous. How is it praptihi? How is it that he attained? Again, you can see the word Vasudeve Pare Tattve. Krishna is Paratattva, that has been explained here. Next verse. Etad veditum ichhamaha sarva eva vayam mune bhagavan nindaya veno dvijais tamasi patita. Yudhishthir Maharaj is so wonderful. He's quoting another example now of Maharaj Ven, who was also very envious of Bhagavan, and he got cursed by the Brahmanas to go to hell. So here the word is Bhagavan Nindaya, Vena. So this Ven, he was very envious and he would criticize Krishna. Very envious person. And Dvijaihi Tamasi Patitaha. The Dvija, the Brahmanas cursed him and sent him to hell. So Yudhishthir Maharaj is now cross-questioning with logic. He's saying, on one hand you have Vain, And on the other hand, you have Shishupal, and both criticized. How is it that Vane went down and Shishupal went up? Etat veditum ichhamaha sarve eva vayam mune. O Muni, O Narada Muni, vayam sarve, all of us, Yudhishthir Maharaj is saying, etad eva veditum ichhamaha. We only want to know this. We don't want to speak or hear anything else. So in that context, we have this verse of Bhagavatam. Shrota Vyadini Rajendra. You can note the reference. Very beautiful verse. Shrota Vyadini Rajendra. Nrnam Santi Sahasrashaha. Apashyatam Atmatattvam Griheshu Grihamedhina. Shrotavya. Worthy of listening. And Adini. Worthy of speaking. We human beings, Nrnam, Sahasrashaha Shrotavyadini Santi. We have thousands of topics to hear and speak about. You can see constant scrolling, constant listening, constant viewing with any topic, anything. We continue to hear, speak, and think anything whatsoever. Thousands of topics exist to hear and sing. And that is because apashyatam atma tattvam. We are not able to see that life is short, time is short, and we have lots to attain. And therefore, we are killing time, wasting time by speaking and singing other subject matters. Those who understand the value of time, human form, they will not hear or speak other topics. Why am I saying this? Because in the context, 17th verse has the word eva. Etad veditum, veditum, wanting to know. This we want to know, and this alone we want to know. Eva. This is all that we want to hear and speak about. So a devotee should be like this. One pointed like a chataka. We only want the rain coming from the cloud in the Swati Nakshatra. We don't want any water of this world. We don't want any topics of this world. We only want to hear and sing the glories of our Lord. We want to hear about Krishna, speak about Krishna, chant about Krishna, remember Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. This is all that we want to know. Yudhishthir Maharaj is teaching us when we inquire from sadhus, we should be mindful of other examples and topics and speak accordingly. Like he is aware of the story of Vain, and he's aware that Vain criticized the Lord and therefore he went to hell. And therefore his question makes even more sense. Shishupal also falls into the same category. Why is it that he didn't go to hell? We'll take one more verse and then we'll pause today. दमघोषसुत पाप आरभ्य कलभाषणात् संप्रत्यमर्षि गोविंदे दंतवक्रश्च दुर्मति. Damaghosha, another name for Shishupal, who was the son of Damaghosh. He was Papaha personified. He was sin personified. Why? Arabhya kalabhashanat samprati amarshi. Amarshi, envious. So you see the word vidvisha, you see the word amarshi. It's been quoted again and again that he was very envious. And how do we know that? Arabhya kalabhashanat. Arabhya, starting. From the beginning itself, kalabhashanat, as children speak sweet words, right from that time of childhood sweet words, samprati amarshi govinde, he started criticizing. And even till now, he never had change of heart. Kaumaram Acharit Prajnyo of Prahlad Maharaj, he took it in the opposite sense. Right from his childhood, he was criticizing Bhagavan up to death. From womb to tomb, he continued to criticize Krishna. And the word used is Govinde, Bhagavan, Govinda. And he criticized Krishna so much that everyone around him also criticized Krishna, like Dantavakrascha Durmati. Dantavakra was the brother of Shishupal, and even he became Durmati. Just associating with Shishupal, he also became crazy. Actually, Shishupal and Dantavakra, they are incarnations of Jai and Vijay. So can you imagine Jai and Vijay, who are the associates of Vishnu eternally? They come in three incarnations. They came as Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. They came as Ravana and Kumbhakarna and Shishupal and Dantavakra. And you can see the Lord came out of the Dasha avatar. 4 incarnations are only to bring his associates back. For Hiranyakashipu, the Lord came as Narasimhadev. For Hiranyaksha, the Lord came as Varahadev. And for Ravana and Kumbhakarna, the Lord came as Sri Ramachandra. And for Shishupal and Dantavakra, Bhagwan came as Sri Krishna himself. So 4 incarnations just to bring his lost servants back. He is not coming for any other purpose. He is not coming for Vinashaya cha Dushkritam. He is coming for Paritranaya Sadhunam. Because his devotees have become Dushta, it seems he's killing them, but he's actually coming to bring them back. That's how much love Krishna has. He's equal to everyone, but Ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya maite teshu chapyaham. How can he forget Jay and Vijay? Actually, if you see in the 3rd canto, Jay and Vijay get cursed by the 4 Kumaras. They get cursed. The 4 Kumaras, they meditate on Bhagavan, but they don't serve Bhagavan. Jay and Vijay meditate and serve. And between the two, if someone is only meditating but not serving Bhagavan, and someone who's meditating and serving Bhagavan, who is dear? Someone who meditates and serves Bhagavan. Yes, if the mother tells the child, I love you, but I will not change your diaper. That is not true love. True love means even in the middle of the night, the baby's um, creating a mess by passing water. The mother wakes up and does the needful. She expresses love through action. Therefore, Prabhupada never translated bhakti as devotion. He translated bhakti as devotional service. Seva. Seva vritti. सेवक सेव्य भाव बिनु भवन तरिह उरगारी भजी राम पद पंकज अस सिद्धांत विचारी. Goswami Tulsidas ji has said in Ramcharitmanas. Kak Bhushundi, a crow, crow devotee of Bhagavan, is speaking to Garuda. He speaks the Leela and then Garuda says, too much of information. Can you give me essence? Oh dear Kaka, you have spoken so much. Can you give me the essence? And Kaka Bhushundi says, Sevaka Sevya Bhava Binu Bhavanatariha Uragari. Uragari, oh Garuda, enemy of the Uraga, the snakes. Sevaka Sevya Bhava Binu, without having this mood that we are the servant and Bhagwan is our master, worthy of our service. Sevaka Sevya Bhava Vinu. Without this mood, Bhava na tariha uragari. Nobody can cross over the cycle of birth and death. Knowing this, Bhajiha Rama Pada Pankaja Asa Siddhanta Vichari. Remembering this Siddhanta, worship the lotus feet of Sri Ramachandra as a servant. So therefore, understanding this mood, those who meditate but don't serve are not as dear to the Lord as those who meditate and serve the Lord. So therefore, between the two, the 4 Kumaras and Jay and Vijay, the Lord takes sides with both, but naturally feels more inclination towards Jay and Vijay because they serve. And therefore, although they were cursed, Bhagwan came down 4 times to retrieve his long lost servants. So now, because Shishupal had finished 3 lives as Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, Ravana, Kumbhakarna, and Shishupal Dantavakra, Shishupal was now going back home, back to Godhead as Jay and Vijay. So this story, Narad Muni will narrate how Bhagwan is so kind and he's not taking sides. He is equal to everyone. If he takes sides with Indra, he's also taking sides with Shishupal. If he's taking sides with Ahalya, he's also taking sides with Vibhishan, who comes from the Rakshasa family. If he's taking sides with Nagapatnis, he's also taking sides with Kaliya because he's related to them and he's taking shelter of Yamuna. So in this way, Bhagavan is on everybody's side, but those who do bhajan are more dear. So with this, we'll stop here. We've finished up to text 18 and we will see you in our next class. Thank you so much for kindly accepting my service. Otherwise, this time I would be busy wasting. And today is Varuthani Ekadashi here. So all of you are very kind to engage my tongue in the service of Bhagavan. Vancha kalpatrubhyascha kripa sindubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. Thank you so much.